Hi everyone. It's nice to be in the company of many bright young students and also fellow speakers. I've been an entrepreneur and led a number of business turnarounds usually as the CEO. And let me tell you, no business turnaround leader will win a popularity contest. And unfortunately, I'm no different. So what is a business turnaround? A business turnaround usually involves taking a company in the most challenging situation and helping the company survive and ultimately succeed. It's sort of like treating a terminally ill patient and helping a patient survive and eventually, hopefully, living a healthy life. So it involves a lot of invasive action, such as changing the strategy and business plan, changing the team, cost cutting, changing the products, and so on. So today I'm going to briefly discuss my journey and then explain 4 truths of entrepreneurship that I've learned. So I've broadly been involved with 4 companies. While a college student at Wharton, I bought my childhood favorite comic book company, Valiant Entertainment, out of bankruptcy. There I served as the CEO, where we fixed up legal problems, created modern stories based on our classic characters, and focused on selling our characters as movies, eventually making the company the 3rd largest comic book company after Marvel and DC Entertainment, which most of you have probably heard of. After that, I came to India and I was CEO of an online real estate company called Housing.com. There, the company was about to shut down, and we fixed a lot of the problems by cutting costs, focusing on the largest business in the largest markets, gained significant improvement in our operating performance, and sold the company to Rupert Murdoch's News Corp. Following that, I joined as CEO of digital payments company FreeCharge. FreeCharge at one point was sold for the largest amount of any Indian internet company ever. But when I joined, the company was in distress. And at the time as well, regulation was about to change that would make FreeCharge an unviable business as a standalone business. So we focused on stabilizing the business and selling it as fast as possible, eventually selling it to Axis Bank, which is using the company as a marketing engine and technology hub for its other businesses. Following that, I served as Chief Strategy and Investment Officer at Snapdeal, the e-commerce company, where I worked with the founders to help turn around the company when it was in a very challenging situation. We focused the company on its main e-commerce business, sold off its other businesses, generating a lot of money, and we evolved its main e-commerce business to a smarter business model that led it to achieve the first profit or cash flow positive first cash flow positive state of any Indian e-commerce company. So during my journey, I've learned a lot of truths of entrepreneurship, but I want to focus on 4. And I want to focus on my first experience, Valiant, because I feel it's the most entrepreneurial and relatable to many of the students here. So the 4 truths of entrepreneurship I'm going to discuss are: money is not a goal, it's a byproduct. Secondly, mistakes can be a gift. Thirdly, resilience is essential. And fourthly, everything is possible. So firstly, money is not a goal, it's a byproduct. So with my first experience, Valiant, actually my best friend and I from school bought the company out of bankruptcy while I was still a college student. When we were growing up, Valiant was the 3rd largest company after Marvel and DC, and we were big comic book fans. And in particular, we were big Valiant fans. Valiant ended up getting sold to a larger company that went into bankruptcy. So for us, it was like a childhood dream to buy this company and bring the characters back to life. But we spent years living in very low-cost apartments, eating crappy food, not taking a vacation, and I didn't go home for 5 years. Most of my friends after Wharton had fancy jobs, and they thought I was crazy. And they felt sorry for me. But truth be told, we enjoyed the journey because we were passionate about what we did. And step by step, after many years, we made progress and eventually the money came. So you'll see this with almost all entrepreneurs. The focus is not on the money. It's on their passion or their mission or realizing their vision. And once they progress in that area, eventually the money comes. It's not focusing on the money. Money is a byproduct. These are some of the Valiant characters that we used to read growing up. The second truth is mistakes can be a gift. Very early on with Valiant, I worked at a deal to sell the company to Richard Branson's Virgin Group. And I was flying high after that. They were buying the company for a large amount of money, investing a lot of money into the company to grow it very fast. And we were going to stay involved with the company. It was the best of everything. My parents had already asked me, how do I plan to spend the money? And I invested all the remaining company money in getting this deal done. But at the last minute, as you can guess, the deal fell apart. Virgin Group said, our strategy has changed, and we're no longer going to go ahead with the deal. And we were absolutely devastated because we had no money left. We spent all the remaining money on trying to get the deal done. And it was an absolutely critical mistake. But it was a gift, because to learn this lesson so early on helped me benefit from it from an early stage. And to learn this at a small scale helped me benefit from it when I was doing deals at a much larger scale. And I've done many deals since then. And I've always created a plan B and often a plan C, and never put all my eggs in one basket. So mistakes can really be a gift. The third truth I want to discuss is resilience is essential. When my business partner and I bought Valiant, we didn't realize at the time, but we inherited a whole host of legal problems. We spent 2 years fixing the legal problems and all our money on it. We could not afford an office. So the first office we had was at Penn Station, for anyone who knows New York, the subway station in New York. We were there for 1 year. Then we spent 2 years moving to restaurants wherever they wouldn't kick us out. Then we moved to a temporary office, and so on. It was years of struggle. And as you can imagine, reviving a comic book company doesn't exactly sound like the most attractive business proposition. The first literally 1,000 people I went to raise money from said, "You're crazy, no way." Many of them laughed, some of them fell asleep in the pitch meeting. But we were resilient. And the 1,001st investor said yes, and he was the former CEO of Marvel. And after that, we built so much momentum that we ended up raising about $140 million, or about 1,000 crores. We only ended up using about $35 million. But resilience was essential. And if you ask most entrepreneurs, they would say the same thing. It's not education, it's not intelligence, it's not your business network, it's not access to capital, it's resilience that's the most essential factor in being an entrepreneur. The fourth and last truth I want to discuss is everything is possible. A big part of our business with Valiant was trying to sell our characters to Hollywood as movies. And being two young guys in our 20s without any Hollywood connections, without much money, it was extremely challenging. I mean, forget meetings with the studios. We could not meet production companies or even agencies. We started meeting assistants to agents and trying to pitch them to get us a meeting with their bosses or agents. It took many, many years to even get inroads. And when we did, I met every single studio. Paramount, Fox, Disney, every single one was very polite, but they turned us down flat. So we decided to approach it in a different way. And we started building our own projects in-house, investing in our own screenplays, then getting partners and so on. We approached it very methodically, learning from our mistakes. And in the first few meetings, we would discuss movie stars we'd want in our projects. There was one of the most popular Valiant characters is one called Bloodshot. It's sort of like a mix between Terminator and Bourne. And we said, Vin Diesel would be be a great star for this movie. People would say, what the hell are you talking about? Why are you even talking about movies, much less movie stars? In the end, we did a 5-movie partnership with Sony and the producers of Fast and the Furious. And it was a record deal at the time. And the first movie is in production now, called Bloodshot, with Vin Diesel starring in it. So, everything is possible. I mean, in the beginning, it may not seem like it, but if you iterate, you learn from your mistakes, you approach things methodically, truly everything is possible. And looking at a much larger scale at many of the entrepreneurs that you and I will read about, someone like Elon Musk, I mean, it's just amazing the kind of vision he has and how he's managed to realize that vision. As a serial entrepreneur, with every subsequent venture, he's dreamed bigger and bolder. I mean, electric cars seem like a far-fetched dream, and already it's a reality. And then talking about human colonization of Mars. It sounded so ridiculous a couple of years ago. But step by step, he's getting there. So everything is possible. So just to summarize, 4 truths to entrepreneurship that I've learned during my journey. One is, money is not a goal, it's a byproduct. 2, mistakes can be a gift. 3, resilience is essential. And 4, everything is possible. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody, but if it's for you, I can assure you it can be an adventure like no other. Thank you.